slipped and fell while photographing a wedding party, snapped a pic on the way down. The 5-year-old ring bearer stomped and growled the whole way down the aisle while shouting, "I'm the ring bear." The bustle hook on my little sister's train got caught in the church carpet. No one knew until it was time to walk over to light the unity candle. It looked like an invisible force was trying to keep her from finishing the ceremony. At our wedding, my wife's dad performed the ceremony. He pronounced us Chad and Gina Olbinski. My name is Mike. Got married in a chapel at my grandparents' assisted living facility. One of the residents barged in and accused my husband to be of stealing me from him and refused to let the ceremony proceed. We had to wait until the staff got a hold of his daughter to calm him down. My wife bailed me out of jail in her wedding dress. Mug shots and tuxedo. Office said I was the best dressed individual he's ever photographed. I once went to a wedding where the bride's uncle was asked to leave for trying to start the wave during the vows. My 3-year-old daughter was not happy about being a flower girl. Groom got dressed just before the ceremony and discovered his pants were way too short. One of his groomsmen spent the wedding in a side room in his shorts. When I was a flower girl in a wedding, they forgot to bring my flowers, so I carried a stuffed bear. Both of our moms missed the reception because they were trapped in the elevator. They forgot to press the button for level 1. My phone began to play Umbrella by Rihanna and Jay-Z at full volume right before the kiss. I let it play for 30 to 45 seconds, not realizing it was me. I don't have the song on my phone. I was the best man. I went to a wedding where the DJ queued up the wrong Eric Clapton song for the first dance. Instead of Wonderful Tonight, he played I Shot the Sheriff. The fire alarm went off during our reception. At least we got some great pictures next to the fire truck. The day after, my husband got a Facebook message from a guest so embarrassed that her husband accidentally took the top tier of our cake home because it was wrapped up in a doggy bag by the exit and he thought it was for the guests to take. The DJ cut short our first dance because it was too long and no one was into it and it was time to move things along. My daughter was a flower girl in love with the ring bearer. She interrupted the wedding yelling to me, "Mom, am I marrying Curtis, ring bearer, right now?" The first wedding I ever attended, both the bride and groom were fighting the stomach flu. Mid-ceremony, the bride projectile vomited all over a wall, and then when she finally was back at the altar, the groom fainted. It was a lot. I memorized all of my husband's guest lists so that at our wedding, I could visit with each as we made our rounds. One of my husband's friends showed up randomly, and as my husband introduced us, I blurted out, "You weren't invited?" My aunt's wedding got awkward when the best man got drunk and announced during the toast that he was in love with the groom. When you get the pictures back from your cousin's wedding and find this picture of your son. I once went to a wedding where it was a tradition on the bride's family side to shoot blanks up in the air inside the reception hall during dinner, a tradition not known to many of the 350 guests. I was leading a conga line. Midway through the song, I realized it was just me and one other guy. On the morning of the wedding, I decided to trim my eyebrows. I was distracted and held the trimmer backwards. Shaved off my whole eyebrow. I painted it back with Halloween makeup. My hubby stopped our vows and screamed, "Oh my god, a moose. Can someone get a picture of that?" Made a great pic, but my ring bearer nephew showed his nervousness by walking down the aisle mimicking a dinosaur, roar and all. The singer wasn't very good, and my almost then 2-year-old granddaughter yelled out, "Turn it off!" My cousins drove 4 hours to Sparta, Wisconsin to attend our wedding. The wedding was in Sparta, Georgia. Someone wasn't watching how much bird seed the bridal party took. As a prank, I tied granny panties around my thigh instead of a garter. My husband didn't find it as funny as I did. I thought it was assumed that I, the MOH, should catch the bouquet. I ended up fighting a 10-year-old for it, and after yelling, "Please, I'm 24, I decided to let her have it because she'll probably get married before me anyway. Then her mom made her give it back. Bride and groom's dogs were flower girl and ring bearer. Halfway down the aisle, they consummated their own relationship. My boyfriend ripped his pants, demonstrating how he ripped his pants dancing at the last wedding we attended. Walking grandma down the aisle, she whispers, "It's sad, Ashley will never be married. I'm Ashley." Gave a speech I'd prepared a week prior, had a joke. "This day is so emotional, even the cake is in tears." Pointed over to the cake table, and there were cupcakes. At my wedding, when I was repeating the vows, I accidentally said, "I, Megan Catherine," which is my wife's name. 30 years ago, my dad accidentally locked himself in the church bathroom and managed to break down the door 5 minutes before he was to marry my mom. I was ready to walk down the aisle and we couldn't find my dad. My mom had to call him in the middle of the ceremony. He was in his room watching football thinking he still had 30 minutes. I laughed so hard. My friend had her wedding on the beach. During the ceremony, a gust of wind blew the minister's toupee into the ocean and then a seagull ate it. During the speak now or forever hold your peace part, a lady chimed in with, "Well." An old guy nearby said, "Hold your damn peace, Linda." So Linda just sighed and said, "Fine." I was photographing a wedding and a groom showed up. He looked very confused. He didn't recognize anyone. Wrong groom, wrong church, wrong date. My cousin had a beautiful outdoor wedding. He was having trouble getting through his vows. At the same time, a mosquito landed on his head and the bride smacked him. Of course, the guests couldn't see the mosquito, and so we all sat there speechless. Entire wedding party was Marine officers. My daughters played hide and seek during the reception. Youngest hid so well that it stopped the party. The DJ even urged her to show herself. Panicked, a military-grade perimeter search ensued. Marines won. 5-year-old 0 inches. My 4-year-old cousin was the flower girl at her aunt's wedding. Confused about her role and what she was celebrating, she sang happy birthday the whole way down the aisle. After my dad walked me down the aisle, but before he gave me away, he asked my fiance, "Did you bring the money?" Phone went off in the middle of a ceremony. The middle-aged priest was unamused, paused the ceremony, and started lecturing on the etiquette of church service. Turns out it was his phone ringing. At our wedding, our minister kept calling my husband Mike. His name is Mark. When he asked Mike, "Do you take this woman?" my husband's brother Mike yelled out, "I ain't marrying her." Everyone busted out laughing. Still married to Mark 31 years and counting. The priest asked any objections. Her 90-year-old Italian grandpa stood up silent for a minute, sat saying, "No, I kid, I kid."